Follette students joined about 700 people in the March 9th and March 11th protests against the shooting of an unarmed 19-year-old Tony Robinson. Students from all over Madison took action in the Black Lives Matter event to bring attention to the injustice of the deaths of young African Americans like Robinson, Mike Brown, and Trayvon Martin.
I think it was really important that a lot of students were involved, because that way students do have a voice and they recognize that we are important to our community because we are the next generation. So we do need to train ourselves up to be able to deal with these kind of situations. Yes, this is very much just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, from the things that are going on, the things that are being said, people aren't going to stop until we are ensured that there's justice.
I think that it's been a really good chance for a lot of students to have a voice and to kind of share their feelings about something that's pretty personal to them. I know a lot of kids knew Tony, and that was a really hard thing to have to deal with. And I think also there's a lot of positive that came out of it, because students were able to kind of find a positive way to share their voice, whether it was through a protest or through poetry or spoken word or something like that. I think it was good that a lot of our students who sometimes don't feel like they have a voice were able to share their opinion.
It was really positive. I think that, protesting is one thing. We need to do a lot more than just protesting. And we live in Madison, Wisconsin. So to be in a place where so many people don't even care about what just happened and us protesting. There were so many negative comments about it on the news and on Facebook and whatever.
I enjoyed being a part of it because it was I stood up for something I believed in and I was heard. The mayor came out and talked, and the things that he said just made it obvious that we still have a far ways to go before racism and discrimination and prejudice is no longer an idea. I think having a voice and sharing it and opinions are good, but then they have to think about the next step, because the protests will eventually stop, and the focus, has already, even the national focus has already come off of Madison, and it's okay, so you were angry about this, what are you going to do to make a change?
I feel like it won't be over until change is made, because I feel like it has gotten to a point where everything is becoming so extreme, and it's becoming too often and too much of a relevant thing for it to just to be oh, now it's in the past, it's over. I feel like this is definitely going to make a bigger impact on our culture and on our society.
I feel like we need to start proving people wrong, show them that we better than what they think we are.
I think we just need to love ourselves and have clubs like this and make sure we have conversations about it. Stop the violence. I think that we need to just make sure it's important to see that in a world really that tells us that we're ugly and that we're stupid. I think that we just need to surround each other in love and just go from there and try to figure out what we can do positively to go forward as young people. Anyone can join.
You don't have to be. I think that's another thing. People think that you have to be black to be in music. You have to be black. We don't just talk about black issues. We talk about the issues that's going on in our community or anywhere around the world. We talk about everything. It's not just for black people. Anybody can come in.
We are, a club that educates what has happened with us and what is going to happen with us and what we can do as a race, because it is Black Student Union. Although everyone is welcome to come and be a part of that, just for the what I've said before, just for awareness, just to know what's going on with a different culture.
Not only is it, just like Mia said, just for African Americans, but for everyone to get together and try to prove to everyone that Black history does matter and everything that goes on around this world really makes an impact.
I feel like BSU here is about growing as a culture and letting everyone take part in the awareness of our culture, because we are in a state and a school that doesn't really know that much about it or things like that. So I feel like BSU everywhere is just for pretty much awareness.
So my advice for students who are angry or want to make a change is really to kind of decide what kind of change they want to make, in the community and how they need to make that change. And my message has been to all the students that I've talked to is really, it starts with an education. Being a person of power or being a person who, you know, is making change in the community, you have to start with a high school diploma and then hopefully go on to college. And looking at being able to talk to people, they're not going to take our students as seriously if they're, you know, failing classes or they're not doing what they need to do or they're skipping school. So I think it's really important that education comes first with the mindset that once I leave here, once I leave La Follette, or, you know, once I leave college, that I can make these changes and that I can kind of be a difference. And